Give me a second, guys. We'll make sure the mic is on. Testing. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome to our aftermarket recap. We usually do this at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am back from vacation, so we had our morning note this morning. Glad to have you on board. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me just get my desk all set because I did an Instagram live with no questions, no like live chat or whatever. We're just going over some kind of financial hacks that I've learned when traveling, some cards I like, and this checking account I really like. It wasn't sponsored or anything. I just had a conversation with Kevin in our group, and then some of the investment club guys really liked it. So I figured like any kind of topics like that takes a quick 15 minutes on an Instagram live, I'm going to start doing more often. I think you guys really like it. So again, with that being said, be on the lookout on Instagram. Make sure to follow us, G.A.R Capital and everything like that. Let's talk about today's day, right? All right, so the Dow closed barely down 6 cents at 35,754. The Nasdaq fell 1.71%, and S&P fell 0.72%, 46.67. The VIX gained about 8.44% at 21.58. The dollar index did gain 0.34% at 96.22, gained about 32 cents. Russell 2000 IWM lost 2.26% at 220.52. The 10-year Treasury yield lost 22 basis points at 1.487. This is the yield of the bond. Looking at credit as well, high yield credit took a little bit of a hit, down 0.45% on HYG. This is high yield credit. Investment grade credit, this is bonds, investment grade bonds. They were down slightly, 0.08% on the price. Crude oil on the futures side fell 2.47% at 70.57 a barrel. Gold futures down 0.55% at 17.75 an ounce. 21.96 an ounce for silver futures, down 2%. Crypto took a hit today. 41.73 for Ethereum at down 5.91% on the future side. Bitcoin on the future side as well, down 5.81%, 47,965. And rounding out here is gasoline futures at $2.11, 1.74% to the downside. Let's take a look first at the groups for the day and see what happened collectively in terms of the market. So consumer defensives, again, we talked about this before, consumer defensive, right? When things tend to go bad, everyone kind of go with the consumer defensives. Again, think of consumer defensive as, for example, Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive. You're always going to need razors or toothbrush, General Mills, cereal. People are going to eat cereal regardless if it's a recession or not. So those are the more defensives. We'll go over that here in a second. Utilities down 0.42%. And financials down 0.53%, kind of the best of the breed today in terms of the sectors. The sector that took a hit the most was consumer cyclicals. Again, consumer cyclicals tend to do well when you have a booming stock market or a booming economy. Technology down 1.73%, real estate down 1.34%, energy took a hit, down 1.25%. Communication services that held up kind of in the mid-range, down about 1% for the most part. Now, if we take that information and look at its totality of the week, you can see utilities have been outperforming, up 2.86%. Consumer defensives done very well, up 2.27%. Real estate up 2.16%. Communication services, industrials, basic materials, energy, healthcare, financials, and technology all gained this week. The only one that was down were the cyclicals. And really, the cyclicals that have hurt the most has been Tesla. Tesla's down another 6% today. I think below 1,000 is worth a shot to possibly buy some more. We'll go over that chart here in a second. But again, let's go over the defensives. Remember, we talked about those. Walmart, Costco, Target. Again, you're going to shop there regardless if the Dow is at 50,000 or at 5,000. You're going to have to get food, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Philip Morris, Mondelez, Altria, Procter & Gamble we talked about, Colgate-Palmolive, Kellogg's, Hormel Foods, Kraft Heinz. Those kind of names are more of the defensive names. Would I recommend getting into all of these just because they had a decent day? No, not really, because we're not in a recession period. Looking at communication services, the ones that did the best today was actually Twitter, up 1.62%, Google down about 0.37%, Facebook down about 0.22%. It was green for the bulk of the day. We did have calls earlier this week on Facebook. The semiconductors all took a hit. I had some AMD calls. Looks like they went down to fill the gap. I went ahead and actually dip bought AMD on that gap fill on the 1 hour, so I wanted to buy some more. PayPal down again, down 2.84% in terms of the fintech names. Visa, MasterCard all did well today. American Express down about 0.5%. On the financial side, JPM, one of my favorites I own, they were red today. Wells Fargo, Bank of America were green. Citibank was red. Goldman Sachs was also red. On the more of a tech side as well, the ones that did well, Cisco did well, Motorola did well today, Arista Networks, IBM did well today, and Skyworks did well today. Apple down about 0.30%. They've had an excellent week. Healthcare did well today. Pfizer, J&J, AbbVie, UNH, United Healthcare, one of my favorites. CVS, Walgreens, Boots did well. Humana, those guys did well today. But for the most part, you could see a lot of the really red areas were the high flyers of the year. You know, those kind of names. Semiconductors, NVIDIA, AMD, Adobe was a high flyer this year. Tesla has been a high flyer this year, as we know. Netflix has been doing very well this year. They took a hit, obviously, and we talked about this when we had the sell-off last week. We talked about how hedge funds are possibly taking profits, especially ahead of the year. If you're a hedge fund manager, you want to show you get some gains. There you go. So that's where you are currently. Do I think Tesla has changed within the last month? No, nothing has really changed in my book. Would it be a dip buy? I think below 1,000 isn't a bad idea, to be honest with you. If you own some stock in it, I would say 900 to be safe. There is a gap to fill to the downside on the daily. I think 900 is a really good level. I'd rather wait for 900 than 1,000 on Tesla. But again, if you want to do a little nibbling here, not against it. I have SpyG that has Tesla. I buy that every week. So again, I'm still rocking with it. On AMD, I did fill up a trade, some calls, and I'll tell you exactly how I did it. What I did here is take a look at this gap fill here around 139.21. One of my friends, who was also a member, told me, hey, take a look at that downside gap because we closed at AMD. He actually shorted and caught 40% on it. So good on him. I really didn't see that. I didn't want to put the risk on there, but he had some puts when it broke 142 to fill that gap to the downside. And then I, in turn, told him, hey, since the gap was filled, I think we bounce back, especially at the support around 137.91. I actually bought 10 more shares of AMD today at that level, right around 138. That dip buy is actually green. That's cool. But again, I like the target here of around 143 for a bounce. So what we had today, if we had to kind of announce of what happened today, was really just a risk-off day. Monday and Tuesday were very risk-on. Again, you saw a lot of the assets, crypto, tech, high-growth tech, they all did well Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday being yesterday, kind of sideways action. And today was more of a risk-off day. You can see the Dow barely moved today. The Dow didn't really do much. A lot of value names did well today. But tech-heavy NASDAQ took the brunt of it as the market went more risk-off. Bonds were bid, hence yields were down. The dollar was up. And you see the S&P will kind of tread water for a little bit. So again, the S&P was down 0.72%, but it really didn't do much in terms of volatility, even though the VIX is saying otherwise. The VIX here, again, you could see when we broke 35, we came back down. What have I always said, team that knows here? 20. 20 is that level on the VIX, right? Again, below 20, I'm still bullish. I still love the market. I still think we have a lot more to go to the upside. But again, you can see this spike and come back down. All we did was fill that downside gap. We bounced off that gap. More than likely, I think by the end of the year, we'll get to around 1888 on the VIX. That's a really conservative target. More than likely, it'll probably be around 18. With that being said, if we start getting to around 16, 17 on the VIX, then we'll probably be at all-time highs on the S&P, which I still believe we're still going to get. I still have an S&P target of 4,800. I mean, we're only, from that level, about 130 handles from that. That's not out of the realm of reality. You can see, again, pretty much a straight shot. That 100-day moving average and that 50-day has been kind of guiding us all the way up. You can see we've broken the 50-day in September. We've broken the 50-day in November. But since the end of November, we've only broken it in December. So November was pretty much a clean break. November, as we know and talked about, seasonally is the strongest month in the stock market, December being one of the top three. So you can see nice bounce. Again, we have day one, which was Monday, day two, which was Tuesday, Wednesday was pretty much nothing, and today, a little bit of risk off. Anything wild that happened today? Not really. What we're getting tomorrow is the CPI number. Tomorrow is the Consumer Price Index. That's an inflationary reading. President Biden has already said that, the oil price is going down, is not showing on that. So he's kind of already prepping for a bad number. But again, seeing the price action today, and I was kind of paying attention to the VIX and yields like that. Again, usually when you have a spike in inflation coming, you would have a sell-off on bonds and yields would go up. We didn't get that today. We actually fell 22 basis points on the 10-year. So again, The bond market is not telling me hyperinflation at all. I see this, honestly, all this action as just pure end of the year profit taking on some high flyer names like Tesla, other than Apple. Apple has been on fire. But again, a lot of profit taking from these high flying growth names, which is, I mean, can you blame them? I would expect those names, a DraftKings, a Penn, a PayPal, Square, those guys to bounce back very strongly in January, to be completely honest with you. That's what I'm expecting. Anyways, in terms of the CPI number, I don't know exactly what to expect, to be honest with you. I think the number is 0.7% month over month. If we start getting into 1%, 1.5%, that'd be a disaster. I'd expect us to retest possibly 4,600, if not 4,560 on E-mini futures. But again, if we meet expectations or go slightly above or even lower, I think that'll be bullish for the market. We'll probably close above 4,700 on E-mini futures again. If we can get to 47.22 tomorrow, fingers crossed, that'd be nice. But again, I wouldn't expect a moonshot either. So again, we just have to see how the number goes. Again, the number doesn't really matter. It's just the reaction. And I think today's action really showed kind of a preparedness, showing consumer defenses catching bids, and yet again, bonds catching bids, which really doesn't make sense in a hyperinflation environment. So just keep that in mind. So that's my take on the market action today. Not much going on. Again, a lot of watching. I had to salvage those AMD calls. We were green in the morning. I have QQ calls. I was green in the morning, and then we just had a reversal right in the morning. And if we go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour, you can see right in the morning, nice pop right above that 50, and then just we got some sells out there. So name of the game in trading is waiting. Nothing is 100%. Obviously, you just have to have some risk management. You get ups and downs this week. We do have a winning week this week, which is nice. We've been pretty consistent, kind of slowly chugging along, not taking moonshot risks, not swinging for home runs, just kind of sticking with the deal. But as we get closer to the end of the year, I expect a more of a rally in these higher risk assets or riskier assets, risk on assets. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about crypto real quick. Again, didn't sell anything today in terms of crypto. Down about $10,000 in a 1 day, whatever it is, what it is. Again, I have Graph, that's down in my portfolio. Shiba, again, I took profits on some of it. SushiSwap, I'm down the most. But again, other than that, everything is green. Nothing has really changed in terms of Bitcoin or anything like that. Looking at the charts on a Bitcoin, let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm sorry, we'll take some questions after this. I know we're going over a lot. I know it's a lot. It's a mouthful, right? Let me see if this loads. Okay, so remember we had that drop, I believe, on the 4th of December. We popped above 50, and now we're right around 48,347. Is that really the worst case scenario? No. I still have the 100K target for me for the end of the year. Could we get it? We've seen Bitcoin do some crazy things, that's for sure. But looking at the daily, starting to see something. Kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. You're starting to see that. An inverse head and shoulders tends to be bullish, but again, that's just a chart pattern. Anything could change. I think sub 40,000, I'm a buyer. I will buy some more Bitcoin outside of my DCA on Bitcoin. So again, I still like Bitcoin long term. So again, a break of 40,000, I would definitely buy some more. If we go ahead and go to Ethereum, I'm just going to stick with the main two. Make life easy for everybody. I actually own more Ethereum than I do of Bitcoin. So I actually have a little bit of more love for Ethereum. We'll take a look at this and then we'll answer some questions. I know you guys have tons of them. So we're going to Ethereum now. Again, a better chart than Bitcoin on a daily. You can see we broke through almost that double top that we looked like we had for the last couple of months. Right around September, we were kind of testing that 4,000 high. And then right around June, we broke 4,000, came back down, tested it again, broke above it, and now we're just kind of ranging. So again, I still think, I had a 10,000 target for Ethereum by the end of the year. Could it happen? Again, we've seen crazy things with Bitcoin, but 5,000 is pretty much looks like it's going to be in focus. I think we break all-time highs in Ethereum anyways. And if we're looking for a level to break, anything below sub 3,000, I'm a buyer of Ethereum. I love Ethereum. I want to own it anyways. So there we go. I know it's a lot. Good afternoon. Good morning. Sorry. Let's see. Vask Tech. I don't know what that is. If you guys can give me a ticker, I will definitely take a look. GA says, what's a good price point to buy AMD? I actually bought AMD today. I bought it right at 138. It is up after hours. Awesome. But I bought it at 138 this afternoon. I bought 10 more shares. Not huge. Not market shattering. I also have calls on AMD again on this gap fill. Now we're going to bounce based on my chart patterns that I'm looking at, and then 115 is my next buy level down. That would be right below the 100-day moving average on the daily. I'm cool with 115. 118 is fine too. So again, I bought some more today. If you're looking for a nice level to dip by, 115 isn't bad. Here isn't bad either. I think actually AMD gaps up today, tomorrow, to be honest with you. I think all this sell was really just funds just kind of rebalancing their risk here, taking some profit. AMD has absolutely been a monster this year, regardless of today's price action. If we just go by the rolling 52-week period, since January, remember, keep in mind, in January, AMD was at 91. We're at 138. That's nearly, what, $45 per share gained? That's really great. So again, you're going to have some sells there, guys. It's up and down sometimes. Good afternoon, Carlos. What is a good level to buy Google shares? Support levels to look at. Oh, Google. I've been dying to buy some. So I'm going to go with Goog, G-O-O-G. I have an alert at 24.44. That more than likely what happened. But again, any kind of flash crash or end of the world scenario where people are freaking out or it's an opportunity, I'm definitely buying there. If I had to change that, 2700, 2701 to start an initial position, I'm with it. I think that's a really good level to buy some. 24.44 would be amazing, but 2700 is okay for me for Google. I'm dying to buy some. Trust me when I say so. Square, good prices to buy. Let's take a look. So we got a lot of investors in today. That's awesome. Looking at Square, we'll go to the daily. Again, broke support, so we're going to have to expand a little bit and see exactly what's the best price for us. We're right at the 100-day. Right around 180 is a good level. So right here is actually not a bad place to buy some Square here. So 180 ain't bad. What do you think about Citi to buy? Levels to watch. Let's take a look at Citi on the hourly. Again, hourly is pretty much down. Let's take a look at the daily. If you're looking to buy Citi, right around 57 is a pretty good level, Jorge. So again, 57 is your low point for the year. I think if you retest that and kind of touch those levels, maybe a sub 60 wouldn't be a bad place to buy some Citi here. I own JPM and Goldman. I do not own any Citi. Nothing against Citi. I used to work for them. That's cool. But again, I like JPM and I like Goldman Sachs just a tad more. Let's see. Thank you so much, Kevin. Content is dope, man. Thank you. What do you think about Kathy Wood's new ETF? Which one? I own some ARKK, but I don't know the new one that you're talking about. What is the support on ES? All right, let's take a look at the support. I'm going to go with a 1 hour support first, and then we'll go to the daily and see what's next. So 1 hour support really is around 4,500. That's kind of the, downward retest of the lows. But short-term scenario here in terms of ES, right around 46.38, that 100-day moving average on the 1 hour. If we go ahead and kind of expand to the daily, 44.69 seems to be that right first S1. That's your support level 1. Support level 2, I have it here as 42.60. I'm pretty confident we're not going to touch that 42.60 by the end of the year or even Q1 of 2022. So again, that'd be great for a dip buy, but I think 40 for a nice long-term or a nice swing trade would be right around 46.38, 4,600, give or take. 46.38, 46.16. That's your 100-day and that's your 200-day moving average, which is nice. Remember, we had almost a sense of we had a cross here of the 50 breaking below the 100. That's a bearish sign. And then you had the 100 breaking below the 200, another bearish sign. But now we broke above that, so you can see the 50 days above the 100 and the 50 days above the 200. All is right in the world. Let's see, thoughts on coin. Thanks. I do own some Coinbase because I use them. Remember, I always talk about always invest in a company that you personally consume or you personally use their services. Coinbase is one I do. I only do my crypto buying on Coinbase. They make life easy. If you're looking to buy some, 208 is my level right there to buy some more. I already own shares. I do like coin long term. What's a good price to buy NVID? NVID. Let's take a look at that. I don't know much about them. That doesn't come up. I hope you mean NVIDIA, so I don't know. Ray is asking, what are the chances of another freebie before the year ends? Really trying to get that one trade to put me through membership. Okay, so how about this? I promise, I will do one more freebie before the end of the year. But what you guys got to do, guys, is very, very important. You guys got to turn on notifications for me. You got to turn on notifications on Twitter. You got to turn on notifications on Instagram because you'll miss it. Because remember, there's not chronologically ordered on Instagram. It's based on what you like. So again, if you like our page, cool. But again, turn on those notifications, guys. It's extremely important. If you want a freebie, I have to have you on notifications so you don't miss it. Because every time I put a freebie, I'll get like 100 people saying thank you so much, and I'll get like 5 people saying I missed it. And why do you miss it? Because they don't have notifications on. So help me help you with a freebie. So yes, I promise I will do one more freebie for the end of 2021. You have my word. Thoughts on DWAC? I have calls on DWAC for, I believe, next week. So looking at it here on the daily, pretty much a nice break above this range here, 60.37. We should break above 60 again. We had a nice break to 69, came back down. More likely we'll test 54 and then come back up. This is part of the SPAC. SPACs equal risk on and a risk off day today. You can expect SPACs to go down. That's all it is. Let's see. Sorry, NVIDIA. There you go, NVIDIA. Let's take a look at it. Hopefully you guys can see me. Let me turn on my light in my office. All right, NVIDIA did break below 300. It's right around 300. There is a gap to fill right around 300. So I would say at 300, let's see if we can get a bounce and fill that gap, just like that AMD trade I showed you. But looking at it right now, it looks like it does want to fill that $300.64 gap on the 1 hour. But again, I own shares. I love it. So I would love to buy more. If I'm looking for a dip buy opportunity in NVIDIA, fingers crossed, is 268.64, which is right around the 50-day moving average. There's a gap to fill right there on the daily, so it could be more likely could happen. It definitely could. Notifications on all socials on. Wish that Cowboys score pulled through. I know. Hey, listen, we have playoffs coming pretty soon in a couple weeks. Super Bowl's coming, so more great things to come. I know you guys really loved that deal, that deal for giving the hookup for the courses. So, you know, if Manchester United wins Champions League or EPL, I'll definitely give something away, right? Fingers crossed. But again, it's an example. If you make it a Giants Cowboys game, we'll have to tailgate fundraiser. More than welcome to hang. I was actually at the Cowboys Giants game in Dallas. Had a blast. We kicked the Giants' ass. I was there. It's awesome to see. But yeah, man. I mean, you guys are in the Meadowlands. I have to figure out something. A lot of people hit me up on Instagram. My social media manager told me that since we were in New York, like, hey, come hang out. I promise in 2022, guys, once travel makes it a little easier regarding restrictions and everything, to make sure everyone's cool, we're going to do kind of like a tour thing where I'm going to go to different cities, meet up with you guys. It doesn't have to be formal. Maybe we can just have a beer and just hang out. That's so much fun to meet up with you guys. We have to figure something out. I got to do like a couple of cities where I'll be like, hey, I'm going to be in New York, or I'm going to be in Chicago, or I'm going to be in Dallas, or San Antonio, or Atlanta, or I'm going to be, you know, pick a city that kind of works for most people, Vegas, California, something like that, where I'll figure it out, where we can all kind of hang together and just have a good time, talk markets. I would love to meet you guys. We've been trying to do a Las Vegas meetup for years now, but with COVID, it was an absolute disaster of what happened. So it's something I'm trying to work on, guys. I promise we'll do a meetup. It's going to be fun, but let me just work on the actual logistics. I know it's always a pain. What do you think about Ralph Ragnick? Are we talking about the new Manchester? New Manchester manager. I love him. I hope we can get Haaland. Maybe he can hook him from Dortmund. We'll see. But I definitely like the way Manchester United is playing. But City and Liverpool and Chelsea are pretty much head and shoulders above us in EPL, which kind of sucks. Thoughts on the Patriots on a hot streak? Hey, we're talking about sports. Cool. Patriots are great. I think Mac Jones is their quarterback. My neighbor is a huge Boston fan. So he's a huge Patriots fan, and we were talking, and this was like week 2, and I said, I like Mac Jones. Keep an eye on him. He's been doing great. Belichick's system works. But don't forget, my Cowboys were the last team the Patriots lost to. Cowboys are pretty good. Don't sleep on my boys. Don't sleep on them. You should do a weekly rewards for guessing the Cowboys scores and stats. I got to do something, for sure. I mean, we have the Cowboys, Redskins, Washington football team this week. Let's see how it goes. I think me giving that thing away kind of kills, like it's like a luck thing, a bad luck thing for the Cowboys. So I have to figure out something to make things easier. Coming down to that last stretch of the season, playoff berth is pretty much clinched. From your mouth to God's ears, my man. Let's see if we can win this week, and then we can block up this division and just move on with our lives, because I don't want to go down to the wire. The Eagles scare me. The Washington team scares me. Every team scares me. So this is that being said. All right, so we'll go ahead and leave it there, guys. It was a great aftermarket recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do me a big favor, like this video. It really helps the algorithm. Turn on notifications. Comment your questions. I answer all the YouTube questions myself. I do the Twitter myself. So again, when you're on Instagram, when you're on YouTube or Twitter, you're talking to me. So just keep that in mind if you guys have any questions. Thoughts on AMC bouncing off support? Again, a risk on trade. We talked about risk on. Bouncing off support, the support is not hit yet. You're talking about right around 26. So it may be a little more downside on AMC, but really the big support is right around 23 to 23.9. So kind of keep that in the back of your head based on the Fibonacci levels. But I wouldn't be buying AMC here as of yet. If you're looking for, or you're looking to buy some calls, if anything, it has more of a path of least resistance to the downside, possibly around 26, 28. I would probably do 28 puts, if anything, on an AMC. Just a heads up. But we'll go and leave it there, guys. Thursday Night Football tonight. I'm going to watch Steelers and who's playing? Steelers and Vikings. It should be fun. We'll leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note here on our G.A.R Capital YouTube channel. Thank you guys for being a part of this journey with me, being a great subscriber, liking our videos. It means the world to me. I'm trying to push more and more media content, more interactive content. So you'll probably see more lives of me, more YouTube videos of me. Again, I hope you don't get tired of it. But again, anything to kind of help you guys out is always fun. This interactive stuff is the best. So we'll leave it there. Yes, of course, Rita. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you guys have, your time is as valuable as mine. For me to take time out of my day, it doesn't bother me to talk to you guys. I'm trying to make this into a network thing in a sense. So like, hey, every morning, G.A.R Capital has you for the morning note. And then after market recap, it's super fun. I love talking about markets. I love talking about sports. So again, if you have a sports question and you want to chop it up one of these days, maybe down the line I'll open a YouTube that's strictly sports, and we can have a kind of a first take debate show. Wouldn't that be fun, right? So we'll see. We'll never know. Internet's a great thing. Communications are fun. We'll leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your day. GARcapitalFX.com is the website. We'll leave it there. Have a good one, guys.